What's up, guys? As always, thank you guys for watching. This is Showtime's Fight Form. I'm your boy Showtime. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Follow me on social media at Showtime Sanders. And let's get right into it. I am so hype about this fight card. UFC 268, one of the best fight cards of the year. We have so many fire dynamic matchups. And obviously, like always, I want to break down the fights and I want to give my prediction on how I see the fights going. I mean, come on, man. Let's just get right into it because that's how hype I am about this. First fight on the main card that we're going to talk about is going to be Frankie Edgar fighting Marlon Vera. Fire fight. Fire fight. Edgar is completely washed. Let's also keep that in mind. I mean, legit, last time he fought, he got knocked out by Corey Sandhagen. I thought he died. That was one of the worst knockouts I've seen of the year, this year, and it was pretty brutal. And he's been getting finished pretty bad. You got to remember, Frankie Edgar was like a Rocky at one point. He used to get beat up, but he would never get knocked out. It's hard. He was a tough guy to finish. Now it's starting to become routine. But once again, still great foot move. I mean, still got great footwork. It's a little bit more predictable. He's a little bit slower because, he's older. That's the way the world works. Now, Marlon Vera, that man's a problem. Marlon Vera is a problem. He has been on, honestly, a very big tear. Even losing to Jose Aldo, this man was tough. He gave Jose everything he had. And you got to think, that was 3-round Jose. 3-round Jose is almost unbeatable. So, Marlon gave him some good work. Now, I mean, like I said, he seems to be on the rise. I've seen like 4 different versions of Marlon, by the way. I'm talking about like physically. He looks like 4 different people every time I see him fight. He looks like a completely different person. I'm like, hold on, that's Marlon? He didn't look like that last fight. What is he doing? Is he like face surgery or something? Doing something to his hair? It's weird. Every time he looks different. That's just a side note. Now, back to the actual fight at hand. We know Marlon. Marlon is a very dirty fighter. When I say dirty, I'm not saying like dirty. He does illegal things, but he likes to get into the mix, man. He loves battles. He's good with elbows. He loves to cut people up. The last fight was extremely bloody. If you don't like blood, you're probably not gonna like this fight because Marlon really likes blood. And you asked Josh how I see it going. I mean, I have a hard time seeing Frankie Edgar escaping this. Marlon he's a great striker. He's a very strong striker. And like I said before, he likes to just get into the mix. He likes to make things dirty. So I'm gonna go second round, first round, but I'm gonna say second round stoppage by TKO. Marlon Vera, and he's gonna keep on this heavy streak. And then Frankie hopefully retires soon because I don't want to keep seeing him get brutally knocked out. Like, save your legacy, man. Like, these fighters gotta know when to stop, man. I think it's past his time. Now the next fight is going to be fireworks. Shane Burgos is probably one of my favorite fighters to watch. I don't think he'll ever be champion. I don't think he's good enough to ever become champion, but he's one of those fighters that is going to constantly bring must-see fights. His fight with Josh Emmett was ridiculous. Like, oh my gosh, ridiculous. I'm probably gonna rewatch it today just so I can rewatch it. His fight with his last fight with Edson Barboza was ridiculous until he had the weird little hesitation knockout. Now he's fighting Billy Quintillo. Very bad at pronouncing his name. Now, he's a great boxer. He's a really good fighter. I believe he came from the Contender Series. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I believe he did come from there. But he's a solid all-around fighter. Now, once again, I think this is going to be a stand-up war. I think Shane Burgos is going to win this one, though. Billy's an up-and-coming prospect, though, so I know the UFC would love for him to get a win here. But I'm going to go Shane because, Shane needs to get a dub. I mean, he just got knocked out by Edson, and I know for a fact in his head, he's like, I need to get that one back. So I'm going to actually go TKO stoppage by Shane Burgos in the second round as well. Now, the third fight. This is not a championship fight. This fight should be a 5-round fight, but it doesn't matter if it was 5 rounds or it was 3 rounds because it shouldn't last that long to begin with. And that is the fight. One of the fights of the year. I'm already gonna call it the fight of the year because how is it not gonna be? It is Justin freaking Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. Guys, I'm telling you, if you're not a fan of MMA, you will be a fan if you watch this fight. If you're already a fan of MMA, it's gonna make you even more of a fan. Why? Because these guys both have the same exact mentality: kill or be killed. And when you get that kind of fight, I mean, how do you not fall in love with the sport all over again? We know what both guys like to do. Have I seen Michael Chandler in a boring fight? I might have seen Michael Chandler in a boring fight maybe once or twice in my life. Maybe. And it wasn't because of him. Justin Gaethje, I've literally never seen in a boring fight. Never, not once. I've never seen Justin Gaethje in a single boring fight. It's hard to find a boring minute in a Justin Gaethje fight, let alone a whole boring fight. Now you have two of one of the most exciting fights. I already said it before. Justin Gaethje to me is a top 3, top 2. I would probably have him one most entertaining MMA fighters ever. Like, he comes to bring it every single time. It's always fight of the night every single time you see him fight. I think his most boring fight might have been versus Khabib, and it wasn't boring. He just got his ass whooped. Like, you know, he just got mauled and submitted. So, I mean, once again, this fight, guaranteed fight of the night. They should have 2 fight of the night. This one and then like the real one, because we already know what this is what's gonna happen with this. Both guys, great wrestlers. They're both American wrestlers. And when I mean American, I mean they actually wrestled in amateurs. They wrestled in college, things of that nature. If I had to give an advantage of the wrestling department, I would probably go Michael Chandler. And then, you know, I don't see this fight ever touching the ground unless somebody gets slept. So, I mean, we could talk about it, but it's just kind of pointless. These guys we know what they're gonna do. They're standing. And we know with Justin Gaethje how it is with standing. He's gonna break you down with leg kicks, and he's gonna throw heavy shots. He has been ridiculous the past few fights as far as his stand-up. He's got so much better because Whitman has really whipped him into shape as far as head movement. Stop going into just these reckless brawls. Be a little bit more calculated and then strike. Now, Michael Chandler, he's a great striker. He doesn't have a great chin. That's his problem. We know he'll knock anybody out. He's one of the hardest punchers in 155. Justin Gaethje, he's not one of the hardest punchers in 155, but he'll knock you the hell out too. And he has probably the strongest leg kicks in 155. Probably one of the hardest leg kicks in all of MMA. He breaks people down. He hurts people very bad. He hurt Khabib leg. I mean, so it's an interesting fight. It's a perfect matchup, and I'm so excited for it. If you ask me who I think is going to win this, it's hard for me to say Justin Gaethje won't win. The reason why, Justin Gaethje's chin is better than Michael Chandler's chin. When it comes to these kind of fights, it normally goes down to who has a better chin. These guys are not, it's not like they're Conor McGregor accurate. These guys like to throw, and you know, once they land, it hurts. Who can take that? Justin Gaethje has been proven to take that. I think, he's been knocked out by 2 people. He's been knocked out by Eddie, and he's been knocked out by Dustin. Eddie was by a knee that really had him wobbled. And then I think with Dustin, it was a combination of punches that really got him jacked up. So, I mean, we've seen Michael Chandler slept many a times, actually. Many a times. So, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be hard for me to say. That's not to say Michael Chandler cannot win, because he has power. Justin Gaethje does get punched. So it's not me saying it's impossible. It's just hard for me to see it because, once again, chin. I like to compare chins. We already know who has the better chin. So now, let's go into the championship fight. This fight is going to break my heart because I love both fighters. I'm excited for this fight. Hopefully we get a longer version of than the first fight. And that's going to be Weili fighting Rose in a rematch. A lot of people are upset about this rematch. I wasn't upset just because I'm a big Zhang fan. But she definitely didn't deserve it. Like, that's me being honest. However, Rose, I mean, you know, she's a great striker. She reminds me of Anthony Pettis in her prime. I think they're very similar. Extremely good striking, very creative, great kicks, sneaky kicks we've already seen, and then great jiu-jitsu. If you take them down, you're not out, bro. You can literally get submitted. However, they both have the same kind of deficiencies as well. They can both get taken down. And you can and if you have really good submission, you're aware of the submissions, you can ride them out, and they're normally complacent with being in their guard. Another thing about I've seen with Rose is Rose does fade. I've seen it a couple times. She's fade in fights. We've seen with Weili. I've seen her tired in the 5-round fight with Joanna, but she still was throwing. So even when she was tired, she still pushed through. I've seen Rose fade miserably to the point that she lost the fight because she faded. And that was like, you know, with KK. I've seen her exhausted. Even with the second fight with Jessica Andrade, she started to fade. So, you know, that cardio is going to play a factor if she doesn't get another quick finish. How do I see this fight going? I'm going to go. Unfortunately, for a lot of people who are upset about this fight, I'm going to go Zhang. I think Zhang's going to win. I think that she's going to wear her out. I think the pace is she's gonna put some pace on her. I don't think she's gonna land that sneaky kick anymore. I think that Weili is gonna be aware of those. So that's gonna be out the ballpark, and Rose is gonna start to fade towards the 4th and the 5th. And I really see Zhang picking up the pace a little bit and possibly getting a finish. So that is my prediction with that fight. I'm gonna go Anu. Now the last fight is the fight that I'm extremely excited about, and I'm not gonna say the most because, like I said, that Gaethje fight. I mean, why could I not be? But this is definitely my second fight that I'm looking forward to. Why? Because it's a grudge match. These two guys really don't like each other. Everybody hates Colby Covington. Let's keep it 100. Like, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, but I'm telling you right now, I don't care for the guy. I don't like his shtick. It's whack. It's lame. It's corny. However, he's an excellent fighter. He's an elite fighter, and we haven't seen him fight. So he very well could be better and have a lot of new tricks up his sleeve, and we don't even know about it. Why? Because he hasn't been active. He fought Tyron Woodley. He hasn't fought since, and we know Tyron Woodley has been asked. So he didn't really, I mean, if you want to say deserving, he wasn't the most deserving of it. However, he did give Kamaru Usman everything he could in the first fight, and that fight was an amazing fight, and he honestly, Colby could have won if it wasn't for that 5th round, but the 5th round happened, so yeah. And he's still trying to deny the broken jaw thing, which is weird. We literally heard you say, I think my jaw broke, and then there was literally an x-ray that showed the jaw was broke. So you trying to argue something that we already see, but that just goes with the whole stick that I just don't like. Now, the pound for pound king, Kamaru Usman, ever since he beat Colby, he's been straight finishing folks. I mean, Jorge finished. I mean, Gilbert Burns finished. I mean, this guy's been on a nightmare's row of terror. And I mean, the thing is, I've said this before, the guy striking is nothing special. It's not anything like crazy. He does 1-2s, and granted, yes, he throws hooks, he throws uppercuts, but it's not from a technical perspective. The way he sets up his shots aren't the greatest, but he's very dominant. He's very good with pressure. His cardio is amazing. He's strong. He punches strong. And we already know, like I said, the 1-2 is devastating. He's put people to sleep with him. So, I mean, and we already know wrestling-wise, he's elite. Same thing with Colby. Colby's a great wrestler. Cardio's unbelievable. Jiu-jitsu, both these guys have good jiu-jitsu. Granted, they both been submitted. I think they both, their one loss are both, well, Colby has 2, but I think they both have 1 loss off of submission. But they're still great. They have great jits. You don't really submit them. It's competitive. It's gonna be a competitive fight. Again, I don't think that it's gonna be a wash completely. However, I do think Kamaru has just rose to a level that he's above all these mortals, and I think that Colby's a mortal. And then once he's done, you know, he'll go back. Maybe he'll go 185. I don't know. Maybe try to do something else and go to Bellator, become a troll there. I don't know. However, I have a hard time seeing Colby winning. His lack of power, his lack of threat of power is it's a little disheartening. And I mean, he threw a lot of shots. He threw the kitchen sink at Kamaru, and he landed a lot of them. Kamaru Usman, was he stunned a couple times? Possibly, yeah. I think he was. However, he was cool. We saw what happened when Colby felt that power. He got his jaw broke. He got knocked. He got TKO. He got dropped, what, 3 times? Like 2 times in that last round? So, I mean, the power difference is very, very important. So, I'm going to go Kamaru Usman, TKO in the 3rd round. And I think Colby Covington will be embarrassed, and everybody's going to make a lot of memes of him. And if he wins, it's going to be unbearable because Colby is the most annoying MMA fighter of all time. So that's how I think. You guys tell me your predictions for this week's fight. I'm super excited. I hope you guys are excited as well. But as always, the Showtime's Fight Forum. Make sure y'all be blessed.